In today's Leeds news, PSG advance Llorente bid, Ayling to undergo medical, Summerville transfer fee revealed, and Chris Moore joins Hibernian. Morning folks, Jay here on the 10th of January with your Leeds United news. Early one today, so I'm going to timestamp this at 8:40 a.m. So if any of the stuff that I'm about to talk about today has already happened, I will try and do it both ways, that it might happen and it has happened, just in case. There is a fair bit to get through, mostly exits, but some interesting news that's come up this morning as well that might help Leeds. It is the one a week, it is Wednesday, so as always, if you like the channel, if you're not subscribed, 48% of people that watch the channel on a regular basis are not currently subscribed. So if you want to get your daily news, you can help and support the channel by subscribing to the channel or liking the videos or sharing them around. Right, that's that done, move on. Let's talk about a potential income of cash for Leeds United in this window that wasn't expected. And according to L'Equipe in France, they are saying that PSG are advancing in a bid to bring Diego Llorente to the club on a permanent basis. Diego Llorente is currently on loan from Leeds at AS Roma, who have an option to make the deal permanent at the end of this season should certain conditions be met. They had a similar situation last year where they had an £18 million option to buy Diego Llorente. They couldn't afford that at the end of the season, and due to Leeds' relegation, that activated loan release clauses in Diego Llorente's deal, which allowed Roma to take the player on loan again this season. There is a similar option to buy in his contract as well. Now, the report from L'Equipe says that PSG will offer more money to Leeds than is in the existing option for Diego Llorente, which would possibly see Leeds make a profit on the initial $18 million that they paid for Diego Llorente when they brought him in. Llorente's contract at Leeds runs till the end of 2026, so there is still plenty of time to negotiate a deal there. PSG have said that they are negotiating or will be negotiating with Leeds United and AS Roma in order to get this deal done, as the player is kind of in limbo between the two, with this option to buy possibly being needed to be bought out. So Roma could do reasonably well out of this as well. Other news from France, Foot Mercato, they are also talking about this deal as well. Their side of things is slightly different from L'Equipe. L'Equipe are saying that the negotiations are taking place, whereas Foot Mercato are saying that the deal is advancing at a rapid pace and is expected to be done. I wouldn't go that far just yet. There is a bit of work to be done. Jose Mourinho does like Diego Llorente. He has played pretty much in every single game that he's been available for AS Roma. The situation with PSG is that Luis Enrique is the manager there, and he'll be very familiar with Diego Llorente from his time as Spanish national team coach as well, when Diego Llorente was playing for them. So there is common ground between the two there, and there's definitely some smoke here. So we'll keep an eye on that. It could be a positive thing for Leeds United to get some more money in. Yesterday it was confirmed that Robin Koch has officially left Leeds United, or will do at the end of the season, having signed and agreed a pre-contract agreement with Eintracht Frankfurt to maintain his stay at that club beyond this season going forward. So a player who will no longer be on Leeds United books, or you could take from now, he won't be on the books anymore. In fact, I'm going to remove him from the loan report as well, because he's gone essentially now. He won't be a Leeds player anymore after the end of the season. Speaking of players that may not be Leeds players anymore, and a sad one today, and news has come out according to Phil Hay and David Ornstein at The Athletic that Luke Ayling is to undergo a medical at Middlesbrough this morning ahead of a remainder of the season loan at the club. Luke Ayling appeared to say his goodbyes to Leeds United fans at the end of the Peterborough win, an emotional one for him as well, waving goodbye, and was consoled by certain players at the time as well, some players going over to meet him and hug him. It did look like a goodbye at the time, but we weren't 100% sure. Daniel Farke's comments around Luke Ayling led us to kind of believe that he was going to retain the player. He rated him very highly. He talked very positively about his impact at the club as well, which is no doubt that he has had that. It also means that Leeds possibly will be dipping into the transfer market now finally, with the fact that Jed Spence has now gone at right back, and now Luke Ayling looks set to leave as well, meaning Leeds will be very, very light in the full-back positions. Archie Gray will probably continue to play there, but Leeds will need other options there as well. On the Ayling stuff, he's 32 years of age and is expected to undergo his medical this morning. So if you're watching this in the afternoon, Luke Ayling may have already completed his move to Middlesbrough. So take it as that's done then if you're watching in the afternoon. What I will say about this, Luke Ayling signed for Leeds in 2016. Leeds paid £200,000 for Luke Ayling. I've said before, he has long repaid any money that Leeds United paid for him. He has made 268 appearances and captained Leeds a regular occasion over the last couple of seasons as well, and was a major part of Leeds' promotion push back to the Premier League, and a huge part of Leeds' success in their first season in the Premier League, even being tipped for an England call-up during that first season. Ayling will be out of contract at the end of the season, and it is expected he will move for a free transfer. This could be the start of what would be his next venture in football, with a loan move to Middlesbrough that might be made permanent there and bring him into next season there. He will link up with Sam Greenwood there, so some familiar faces when he gets there as well. Just on a personal note, I'd just like to say best of luck to Luke Ayling. He's been one of my favourite players at Leeds throughout his whole time there. I'm a big fan of attitude before everything else, and Luke Ayling has shown an incredible attitude to Leeds, incredible leadership, and has long repaid any kind of loyalty question marks that may be around certain players that play for Leeds. There's never a question around Luke Ayling. He owes this club nothing anymore, and I wish him nothing but success in his future. The goal against Huddersfield will always be the goal for me that I knew that's when we were getting promoted to the Premier League. Whatever about Pablo's goal against Swansea, when you see fullbacks scoring volleys like that, you're going up. So thanks for the memories, Luke. Really appreciate everything that you've done for Leeds United, and I wish you all the best in your next stage of your career, and hopefully it's a really strong and good one for you as well. Moving on, let's talk about Crescencio Somerville, and a short one today. And Team Talk have put a piece out today saying that Leeds United have slapped a £30 million price tag on Crescencio Somerville's head. Leeds did reject a £20 million offer from Burnley in the summer, and there is expected to be interest in Cres Somerville this window. Newcastle, Aston Villa are some of the clubs that are said to be interested in. Cres Somerville has said himself recently that he's very happy at Leeds and won't be leaving Leeds. It's come out through Fabrizio Romano as well. The player is very happy at Leeds and doesn't look like he will be looking to move. However, Leeds are covering their bases and have slapped a £30 million price tag on his head. Given the form he's in this season, Leeds' top goal scorer, 30 million is not a huge amount of money for a big team if you're looking at the potential of Cres Somerville, but it does look like Leeds will not be selling him. Leeds have said that they will not be selling key players this window. It will be a silly move to make, and one Leeds don't need to make, and it looks like Leeds won't be making that, putting a price tag on his head that should scare a lot of smaller clubs away, and the club won't be negotiating with bigger clubs. It appears anyway from the outside. And finally then, looking at another player that's off and has left Leeds United, and this morning it's been confirmed that Chris Moore will fly off to Dubai to meet up with his new teammates at their warm weather camp over there as he sets off to join Hibernian on loan for the remainder of the season. Chris Moore will join Nick Montgomery's side, who are in the top half of the Scottish Premier, just below the top three spots, and we'll be looking to add to that. Moore's had a really good season for under 21 side. We spoke to Michael Scubala on this channel earlier this year, and he spoke an awful lot about Chris Moore, about his maturity and his professionalism, and how he was growing as a pro. He's captained the under-21 side several times this year. He's played in multiple positions, right back and centre back as well for the club, as well as playing in midfield at times, and had a really good showing for Leeds' first team during the summer friendlies, especially against Manchester United, where he had a really good game at centre back, and that he has matured an awful lot and looks like a really good player. This is a key move in his development and his advancement into the Leeds first team, should he be able to get there. Having a strong spell at Hibernian for the remainder of the season could lead to another loan move for an entire season next year, or could lead to him pushing for a place in the Leeds United starting 11 going into next season or the years after that. He's got plenty of time ahead of him. I won't rush this, but it's a really good move to be going to a team. I said it yesterday about Scotland, and it seemed to cause an awful lot of hassle in the comments. What I meant to say, and I'll clarify with this statement as well, is it's a lesser league in terms of the ability of all of the teams that are there, outside of maybe two, possibly three. Yes, teams in Scotland qualify for Europe as well, but teams in Ireland qualify for Europe as well, and I wouldn't classify Ireland, the Irish League, as on par with the Championship or Premier League. But he will get chances to play against bigger clubs in bigger stadiums in bigger atmospheres, because that is still relative to the size of the league in Scotland. Hibernian's a cracking stadium and a cracking club. Brian McDermott is the director of football up there. He has people that he knows. Nick Montgomery is a former coach at Leeds. I'm sure there's a connection there as well. So there's lots of people there that will help his career advance. It's not a slight against Scotland. I watch an awful lot of Scottish football, and I enjoy an awful lot of Scottish football, so it's not a slight on them, but it's just a fact that if you were to put the teams in the Championship outside of the top two, I think the rest would probably struggle to compete. So in the top parts of it, they should be fine. Like the likes of Hibs, Aberdeen, even St Mirren on an off day, on day, could beat there as well. But yeah, great move for Chris Moore. Wish him all the best for the remainder of his season. Hopefully that goes well for him. That's going to be it for me today, folks. If anything breaks the rest of the day, I'll probably jump on this evening with a live stream or something. If it doesn't, I'll see you tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. Have a great remainder of your day. I'll talk to you then. See you. Bye.